Good evening. Baruch Hashem, not every day we have a lecture in Manhattan, so we might as well enjoy and take advantage on the hour we have together also. And it's always hard to know what topic to talk about until you see the audience. Once you see who attend, you know basically what to talk about. So first I was thinking about talking about the purpose of life. Then I saw how nice you prayed. I said, these people already know the purpose of life. You know, I was waiting for more secular people. So since we are coming now into Pesach in less than a week, and Pesach is the holiday of the freedom, and I wanted to start talking about the term freedom. In America, they have a logo, the land of the freedom. The land of the freedom. Of course, this logo is baloney, because the word freedom, first you have to understand what it means. After you understand what it means, you know that America is the last thing to have freedom. Understand? But let's start from the first step, then we'll develop it, and if you have questions, you're more than free to ask me any question you want. Even off topic, I don't mind. The Torah that was given to the Jewish people in front of millions of witnesses 300 years ago, it was the first and last event that the creator of the world came down to speak to a group of people, to millions of people. It never happened before. The world was already 2,400 years before that, and there were only a few individuals based on the Torah of Hashem that we knew that God spoke to them, like Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and a few others, Adam. But there was just one individual. The first and last time it happens that Hashem actually spoke to millions of people was in Ma'amad Har Sinai, 7 weeks after we came out of Egypt. That's what the Torah says, Hayom hazeh niheta le'am. This day you became officially a nation. Yes, we were already a nation from the time of Abraham. All his children started to be one family, and then time of Jacob and so many people, we went to Egypt, we became a few million people. It was before before receiving the Torah, but officially in the day that we got the Torah, Hashem told us, Hayom hazeh niheta le'am. Today officially you became a nation. Until now, you're a group of people. A nation is something different. There's few things we have to understand. There are many, many religions and cults in the world. Muslims, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists. Even atheism, it's a religion. Look in Israel, how the liberal Jews are so devoted to their freedom, to, liberalism. That's the religion. It's also a religion. They are willing to die for the Supreme Court. You touch one judge there, you replace one liberal judge with a righty, that is not a lefty. They're willing to burn the whole country. So they're very devoted to their religion. There are many, many religions and cults that are all man-made. The Greeks made religions, other nations made religions. There's only one religion that is real. Only one, which is Judaism. There's no other religion that is authentic, and it takes less than 20 minutes to prove it. That's why I brought you some of my books. If you'll be interested, you can read it. And then you'll get the idea very, very clear. What we cannot do in an hour, once you read it, you know the whole thing. 80,000 times one individual came and claimed that he had a revelation, like Buddha. 2,400 years ago, he claimed that he saw the light. He had an enlightenment. How many people saw it? No one. He was alone. He came and told the story. You want to believe him? It's up to you. You can believe him, you can question him. One way or the other, proofs you're not going to get. One day, Mary, she got engaged, meaning married. She had a chuppah with Yosef, 2 Jews. Then he went away like it used to be in those days. The husband goes for a few months, came back with some money to build a home, and he sees she's pregnant already. What happened to you? You cheated? No, God forbid. I'm not a cheater. What, you suspecting me? So how are you pregnant? I never touched you. God came to me in a dream and made me pregnant. This son will be a holy person. So now he has two options. One is to turn her into the authorities, because back then if a woman would cheat on her husband, it would be death penalty, even by the Gentiles, not just by the Jews. The whole world knew about it, that that's the end of the world. So if he turns her in, they'll kill her, but he loves her. If he will ignore it, he has to marry her, because then he's already married to her. He has to move in with her. He made the second choice. He moved in with her. j.cee was born. j.cee lived as a Jew and died as a Jew. Even though he wasn't the official Talmid Yeshiva like you expected him to be, he went what we call off the derech, but he never started a new religion. Only 7 years after he died, people started to tell fairy tales about him. The people that started to tell stories about him never actually saw his image. They don't even know how he looked. That's why all the pictures you see in the world today, like in Brazil, j.cee with long hair, look like he's a rock star or something. It's all nonsense, because nobody ever saw how he looked. There's no way to know how he looked, because there was no cameras back then. There's no selfies. And people made up stories, and everyone told another story, and later on they form a religion called Christianity, that you have, excuse my language, you have to be super, super, super stupid to waste an hour of your life on this ridiculous religion, which is full of human error. If you want to understand what I'm talking about, just watch my debate with a Christian professor, and you get the point. Many even pastors and priests, after they watched the debate, they kicked Christianity completely out of their life. Why? Because they realized it was all baloney. So the religion is full of human errors. Obviously, it's not from God. Nobody even knows if j.cee even existed. That's already a big question, if there was such a person, because there were many j.cees. But the stories doesn't add up. One way or the other, you have 2 billion people follow Christianity. See all the lights here around December. It's all based on a story that people told about someone who used to be 3-4 generations ago, and nobody can even prove he existed. This is how ridiculous the beginning of this religion. So how many witnesses there were to the story of Mary? No one. She had a dream, and she claimed God came to her in a dream. Can you prove a dream of a person? There's no way to prove, right? The way it starts with 50% doubt. One day Mohamed came. He said that he was in a desert, and an angel came down, angel Jibril. Who is Jibril? Gabriel. Or Gabriel. Jibril is in Arabic. This is a Jewish angel. He learned the name from the Torah. Judaism was already 2,000 years in effect. Now comes an Arab, doesn't know how to read, doesn't know how to write, according to them. They admit that he was analphabetic, he doesn't know how to read and write. Wasn't Jewish, wasn't a scholar, doesn't know anything from his life. He claimed that he has a revelation. The angel gave him the Quran and made him a prophet. How many witnesses saw that he got the Quran? Nobody. He himself said that he was alone. So now you have 1.8 billion people in the world, almost 2 billion people, that willing to die for this Muhammad, willing to die for the Quran. Let's see you saying one bad word against the Quran and how long you will survive after that. All over the world, millions of people go to Mecca every year now in Ramadan. They're going there. All of that based on a story of someone who doesn't know how to read, doesn't know how to write, told us a story that the angel gave him the Quran. Nobody ever witnessed that. The religion began with high level of doubt. How many people saw it? He himself said that he was alone. Judaism, Baruch Hashem, has nothing like that. Nothing. There's no story that one person came and said, God came to me and gave me the Torah, and you all have to follow me. How do we know? Actually, in the Torah, when God came to Moshe in a burning bush, there was one-on-one, right? And he said to him, take off your shoes, I'm going to send you on a mission to redeem the Jewish nation from slavery. Tell them that I sent you to take them out. And Moshe said, they won't believe me. They will tell me God never spoke to you, you're making it up. It's written in a verse, in the divine book. And God did not get angry at him. He should have said to him, just do what I tell you and don't ask questions. Why are you making kushiyot over here? I'm telling you, you're going to Egypt and you're going to be the savior. If they believe you, fine. If they don't believe you, it's their problem. But you do what I tell you. No, he wasn't a dictator. Actually, he agreed with the question. He told Moshe, said, they're not going to believe me. They think I'm crazy. I'm going to come and say, יאמרו לא נראה השם אליך. How do we know God spoke to you? Every lunatic that comes and said that God spoke to him, we have to believe him? We're going to dedicate our entire life to a book that he brought, claiming that God gave him the book? Give us a proof. When God told him, only after I will speak to you in front of them, and you gather all of them around the mountain, and they will all see that I'm speaking to you, then they will believe in you for eternity. So what do we learn from this dialogue? That if they will believe you based on your story, they are super stupid. I don't expect them to be stupid. Only a fool will believe someone who comes in the middle of nowhere and claim God gave him a book. I have to listen to your nonsense? Why would God give you a book in the middle of nowhere, in a forest, in a bathroom, in the middle of a dream that nobody can prove it? What kind of a desire this God has to give his truth to one individual that no one will ever know about it, that it will remain a mystery? Doesn't add up. So 80,000 times people, manipulators came and they wanted to be prophets and they got believers and they made a lot of money. Religion can be a very productive financially, and of course people want to rule and they think they are the best and they want to be memorized as great leaders. We know all these politics. But God said to Moshe, only after I will speak to you in Mount Sinai, everyone will believe in you, but not just believe in you, for eternity. No one will ever deny that you're something special. And it's very interesting. Even Muslims and Christians admit that Moses is the greatest prophet. And not only that they follow the Torah, it's a part of their religion. Like the New Testament, there is an Old Testament, part 1, part 2. Quran is a continuation from the Torah. Half of the Quran is Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Ismail, which is Ishmael. So there's no argument that other religions, at least Christianity and Islam, admitting 100% that Judaism is authentic and it's a divine religion that was given to the Jews in a public event. Now I would like to ask you a question. Why do you think Christians and Muslims were 2,000 years after the Torah, and Christians 1,300 years after the Torah? Why do you think they were so generous to come and say Judaism is real, but now there is continuation? It would be a lot easier to come and say Jews are lunatics, they made up fairy tale religion, it's all nonsense. This is the first religion that is authentic. What? Christianity. There's nothing true. Mohamed come and say I'm the first and only prophet. Everything that was now until now, it's all nonsense. Don't waste time on it. They are all infidels. I am the messenger of God. Why they never did it? Wouldn't it be easier?
It's already known in the world that all the generations there have been speaking.
Very simple. Trying to do such a thing, it's me coming here tonight claiming that there was no September 11. Nothing really happened on September 11. What do you mean? The towers fell and buildings fell and 3,000 people died and the whole world saw it live. It was nothing. Fairy tale, nonsense. It never happened. Anyone will take me serious? To come after 1,300 years that everyone in the world know that the Jews are the chosen people and God gave them the Torah and they all live by the Torah because there were no secular Jews back then. Until 220 years you would search in the entire world, you would not find one Jew without a yarmulke. It was impossible to find. You would not find one Jewish woman that is not observant of a Sabbath or dress modest. It's no such thing. Look at all the history pictures from the old days, black and white picture. Everyone is religious. All the pictures from all the countries, Georgian and Caucasian, Bukharian and Russian, Ashkenazim, Hungarian, Romanians, everyone was religious. I have a cookbook in the house with pictures from the history. Not that far, 80 years ago, 90 years, Iraq, Iran, this, all the people in the pictures are all religious. No such thing, liberal Jew, communist, anti-God, hate religion and hate rabbis. There's no such thing. This is something that was made up in the last generation or two. But before that, all your grandparents were all observant, following Torah. Of course, people always committed sins. We have desires and we have the evil inclination. People stole and people cheat, and sometimes even maybe broke Shabbat when they hide. But the general rule was that there was no such thing. A person walks in the street without a yarmulke or tzitzit and claim, I don't believe in God. There's no such thing. Among Jews and among non-Jews. When did it start? When they started to make universities, academic universities. So the Goyim have universities for 500 years already. It's nothing new. There are some universities that are hundreds of years already. When Jews started to join the university, who was the first Jew that went to university? Moses Mendelssohn, an Orthodox rabbi in Germany. He decided, as much as I know Judaism and I'm a rabbi, why not? Let me go to the university and learn secular studies. What kind of secular studies? Math, geometry, things like this, science. What happened to him? Within 10 years, his children that follow him and went to university, all of them married Christian girls and converted to Christianity. He has no children left. Everyone, his descendants, his entire family tree was cut permanently. But he started what we call the Haskala movement. After Jews saw that the rabbi went to university, they got the courage to start going. And another one went, and another one, and another one, until today almost all the Jews here in America go to college. Their parents already raised them with such mentality that if you're not going to college, you're a loser, you're nothing. Even if you make millions on your own in real estate. It doesn't matter, it doesn't impress anyone. Why? You're not educated. I remember I had an American girl, interesting because she was religious. If she wasn't religious, I'm not surprised, but she was religious. I wanted to set her up with the son of a billionaire, someone worth $15 billion, a tycoon real estate and he has a book like this of how many businesses he owns. And the boy, nice, religious, modern, from yeshiva, nice guy, good looking. She should have been the happiest woman in the world. Also a good guy and also a multi-billionaire. I mean, she never have to worry about her life. She didn't want him because he wasn't educated. Meaning, yeshiva education for her was not good. She wanted him to have a degree. I told her, what does he need a degree? He can buy the university in one check. What does he need a degree? He's already knowledgeable. He doesn't need it. He has plenty of money. He already has his house and millions of dollars to his name. What does he need a degree? They brainwash her in such a way that if a person doesn't have a university degree, is nothing. Even though, without offending anyone, if you take the greatest professor, the greatest Jew in academic, is not 1,000% in his level than Chacham Ovadia Yosef or Rav Eliashiv. It doesn't even come to 1% from his knowledge. These people knew thousands of books by heart. Their brain was super, super sharp. No one in university gets to even 1% from their level. But believe it or not, in Israel, when you have in a TV a great rabbi that learned 40 years Gemara and his brain is super sharp, the professor who doesn't know 1% from what he knows look down at him. Like, I'm the big shot and you some miserable guy from the garbage can. That's how they look at us. Like they think, oh, we're primitive, we don't know anything. Even if the Rambam would come today to life, the Rambam, the greatest Rambam, they would talk to the Rambam like he's some kind of a garbage. They're not impressed. They're only impressed if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a judge, if you're an engineer. Something like that. Why? It's all brainwash. Brainwash. In reality, I give you an example. I remember one time I went to Toronto and there was one big dentist that has a big office. I asked him, how many years it took you to become this so successful? He told me about 9 years. School, medical school, dentistry, all these things. and then a few more years until he got the money to build such a nice office. But basically almost 15 years of his life he put to become. I asked him, what happened if I would come to work with you here as your assistant? You teach me the job. Teach me how to do root canals, teach me how to do cavities. How long do I need to learn exactly everything you do? Told me maximum 3 months. 3 months, I make you me. What took me 15 years, 9 years in school, I can make you me, duplicate me, by teaching you 3 months from morning to evening, you'll know exactly everything I know. You see, obviously, there's a video in YouTube, college, the biggest scam in the history of America. Why? Oh, well, let's not get into it. If you're open-minded, watch it and see why. Most of the thing you learn there you don't even need. Whatever you need to be, it will be enough between 1 and 2 years to know everything you want. Engineering, everything will be much faster. But they teach you, and it's money, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you pay for the dorm, you pay for that, and government, everybody makes money. How much you really need to learn? A lot less. Same thing in Israel, same thing in Europe. In every open-minded country, they pushed into the things that it's not necessary. They're burning your money, you're burning your time, and it's a shame. Because you could have been somebody successful 3 years earlier. What do you need? 4 years of college and another 5 years in this and that? What for? All these things. What for? Whatever I need to know from the beginning, let me focus on what I need to be. That's it. What do I need to learn? History of this country and that country. This is general education. General education you can get for free from Google today. Anything you want, you press few buttons and the information is right there. Why burning 2 years of my life to get all kinds of tested in the history of the Greeks and this and that? How is it going to make me a better doctor? So it's nonsense. But let's not talk about it because it's not really the topic, and I don't want to go off the topic. So now the Jews got the Torah. God said to us in the Torah something that most Jews do not pay attention to, even those who say Shema Israel every day 3 times. How does it end? Ani Hashem Elokechem Asher Hotzeti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot Lachem Le'elokim. Translation. I am your God that took you out of Egypt. For what reason? Only for one purpose. To be your God. Meaning you're going to be my followers. Meaning, if you refuse to be religious and follow my instructions, I will never take you out of Egypt or leave you there to die. I don't need you. I have no need for you. The only reason I made that miracle and I destroyed the biggest empire in the history of the world in 1 year and took you with such miracles out and the whole world was shocked and all the nations were shocked what I've done in Egypt to get you out wasn't for you to be a gay or to be a secular professor or to be a thief or to be a murderer or to be a rapist or to be a pedophile or to marry other nations. That's not the reason I took you out. Or to become Bernie Sanders. That's not the reason I took you out of Egypt. I took you out of Egypt, it's a two-way deal. I'm pulling you out of the mud, you're drowning, you're about to die. I pull you out of the mud that from now on we're going to have a relationship. If you will betray me, there will be major consequences to your choices. And that's what most Jews are not aware of. And it's such a shame because almost all the people in the world are suffering. Almost everyone, rich, poor, smart, foolish, male, female, almost everybody suffer. And most of the suffering comes because they have no idea what's the purpose of life. They don't even know what they live for. You ask an average educated Jew in university, can you tell me what's the purpose of life? What would be the answer? To be educated. So if someone is not educated, he doesn't deserve to live, he should die. It's the purpose of life to be educated. 80% of the people in the world did not even finish high school. Go to the Arab countries. People from age 7, 8, they already work in the field. Go to El Salvador, go to Guatemala, go to Yugoslavia, to all these countries. Most people don't even finish school. They just right away go from a very young age to work in a cornfield, in the wheat, barley. They work. What do you think? In India, 500 million people. How many of them finish university or high school? Most of them right away from very young age become servants and slaves. Go to China, 1.5 billion people, not even 1% of them is educated. Not even 1%. So if from 7.5 billion people in the world, not even 1 billion people in the world are educated. So what's with the other? They don't deserve to live? They don't have a wife, husband, children, happiness in life. What's their purpose? Ask any Jew you admire, what's the purpose of life? No one has an idea. Ask 1,000 professors in universities of Manhattan and New York. Can you tell me what's the purpose of life? No one would know. But I'm going to tell you what the answer is going to be. Some would say, I have no idea. Those are the honest ones. Some would say, to make money. So then you will tell them, okay, if that's the purpose, 90% of the people in the world are poor or below poor. So what happened? They don't deserve to live? What happened to their purpose? So it's not the purpose. Some would tell you to be healthy. To be healthy, you can be a chimpanzee. They don't have cancer like us, and anxiety attack, and panic attack, and depression, and bipolar, and schizophrenia, and thousands of other diseases. They don't have. You be a monkey, chimpanzee in a forest, enjoying your female and your children, swimming, eating coconuts, banana, peanuts. Life is great. Could have been an eagle, flying in the whole world. If that's the purpose, they'll be an animal. They're very healthy. No, maybe the purpose is to get married and to have children. For that, you could be a monkey. You don't have to be a human being. You also have together, love life, relationship, intimacy. Wow, fantastic. He doesn't have to buy her a drink, put a show for 3 months until she agreed to date him. They don't have all this nonsense. Right away, the monkeys get together after 5 seconds. They met each other in a jungle. And 2 minutes later, they already have children jumping on the trees. No liabilities. They don't have to spend $1 million to raise a child. They don't have to pay $40,000 a year tuition to send them to a school here in Manhattan. The life of the monkey is 1,000,000 times better than us. They don't have to go in traffic three hours a day to drive from Long Island to Manhattan back and forth. And all the headache and the IRS and the government and the jails and the crime and the drug addict and the muggers on the street. They don't have all that. Fantastic life. So that's not the purpose. So what's the purpose? Nobody knows. That's when the Torah comes into place. The only way to know the purpose is to ask the Creator. You want to know what's the purpose of this device? Ask Mr. Lee in Japan that designed the camera, first camera. When the first camera came to the world, nobody knew what it is. If someone would give you a video camera 40 years ago, what's this? I don't know what it is. I have no idea. What is this? This is designed to record things and later to see what happened 2 days ago. Wow, there is such an option. You hear voice, you see people moving, mamash like life. People got the shock of I remember the first VCR machine. Everyone in Israel was shocked. If someone had it, people came to just see it. You know, it's like you have some artwork, people come to check, to examine how you put a cassette in and the cassette goes in. Most of you were not born yet. Who would ever believe that on a piece of tape you have music? Piece of tape, you know, you put it, the cassette, you put it inside the tape, and sometimes it gets stuck. You hear the singer get stuck because the tape sometimes got caught. You have to pull it out with a pencil. It was primitive days. Then came the CDs. If there's a scratch, it gets stuck, you know, in one word for an hour. And the records, and the Patephone. All these things, who would ever believe? So when you see a video camera, how do you know how to use it? There's thousands of options. You have to ask the Japanese engineer in Sony company that developed the first camera. You want to know about the first laptop that was invented. You have to ask whoever it was, Apple, Microsoft, whoever made it. You have to ask them, what's the purpose of this device? Every device that was ever made comes with a manual. Book of instructions, how to use it and how to take advantage on it. Do you think the whole world does not have a manual? Someone made such an unbelievable world, create people from a drop of seed. A human being come to the world with brain, with 10 trillion connection, muscle, nerve system, eyes, stomach, heart, such a complicated system, trees, vegetable, fruit, galaxies, gravity, everything you need. The body perform billions of miracles in the average day, billions. One of them will go wrong by 1%, you crash or you're in coma. So is it possible that someone made such a world and nobody knows what for? It's not realistic. That's where the Torah comes into place, and the Torah describes how the world was created, and the Torah described the purpose of the creation, and the Torah described that everything was made for Adam, for the human being, and the Torah will describe the relationship between man and a woman. The Torah described the value of a family. The Torah describes how to raise children. The Torah describes how to design a decent society, how to make a justice system. The Torah design, basically, the Torah explain everything you need to know for a healthy and successful life. And what did the Jews do? Don't even open the Torah a minute a year. 80% of the Jews never held the Torah once in their life. 80%. There are 15 million Jews in the whole world, that's it. Almost all of them are gone in assimilation. We should have been more than the Chinese. We started after the Noah's flood 4,200 years ago together with the Chinese. Shem, the Chinese father, Shem, he was the nephew of Shem. So that means China, Sin, started his life when Shem, our father, was alive. If someone ate Jews, they call him anti-Semite. Why? Because we are the race that came from Sem. He was an uncle, great uncle of the Chinese. So the Chinese is close to 2 billion people with restriction on birth, and the Jews with no restriction on birth, only 15 million. Less than 1% from the Chinese people in the world. Where are the 99.9% Jews disappeared? All betrayed the Creator, betrayed the covenant, ignored the instruction of his book, and went and married other people and lost their identity. They gone. Nobody knows who they are. Today you already have, like the Reform people, already 11 generations they marry the Gentiles. 11 generations. Every Jew comes to you and say, I'm a Reform Jew, that means he's not a Jew. You cannot assume he's a Jew. You cannot marry your son to his daughter or to their daughter. If they want to marry your son, they have to do a conversion. Why? Because 99% they are not Jewish. How? Certainty. If Sarah, daughter of Rivka, daughter of Rachel, daughter of Miriam, every one of them married Goyim already. There was the tradition. 220 years they marry in Europe, before they even came to America. Before the Jews came to America, to Lower East Side, over 200 years ago, they already started to marry non-Jews. 200 years later, after 11 generations, we have a chazakah that all Reform people are not Jewish. It doesn't matter, they go to the synagogue Yom Kippur with a car and put a little red yarmulke on their head. We have to assume they're not Jewish. So if tomorrow a girl come and she became religious, let's say she heard the lecture or she read my book and she decided to become frum, she became religious. When you want to marry your son is a Baal Tshuva and she's Baalat Tshuva. Her name is Cohen or Levi. It doesn't matter. If her mother is Reform and her grandmother is Reform and her great-grandmother is Reform, this Miriam, who's right now in Bet Yaakov with a big skirt and she's very religious, for us she's 100% not Jewish. Why? We have no way to prove her Judaism. And since they married everyone, we have to assume that they're not Jewish. So she want to marry your son, she has to convert. And what happens if your son is a Kohen? He cannot marry her, because Kohen not allowed to marry converts. This is just to give us an idea what happened to the Jewish nation. Assimilation destroyed 99% of us. And we worry about Iran. Maybe Iran will have a bomb. If Iran will have a bomb, can they throw the bomb on Israel? What do you think? Huh? If Iran will have a nuclear bomb with a missile ready, can they shoot the nuclear bomb on Israel or no? What do you think? Yeah. The answer is never. No, America is not a friend of Israel anymore. Forget about it. It's over those days. If you watch the news, you know what I'm talking about. So America will not do anything. They didn't do anything for Saudi Arabia. They didn't do anything for Hosni Mubarak and for all their other allies. When the allies of United States need help, right away they stick the knife in their back. They're not loyal. It's not like Putin. Putin has a deal with Assad, a mass murder machine. But I shook your hand that I'm watching your back. No matter what, I will watch your back. You can gas your entire country. I'm with you. Why? Because I gave you my word. Iran, you're going to buy from me? I'm watching your back. I will veto everything against you in the United Nations. Why? You buy from us, we shook hands, I'm with you no matter what. So Iran and Syria, they have Russia. They don't have to worry. As long as they're together with Russia, nobody can touch them. Why? Because as bad as they are, at least they keep the word. United States not bad as them, but they never keep their promises. Never. Even when they sold Israel Apache helicopters in the middle of a battle against Hamas, they refused to give us missiles. We bought helicopters, billions of dollars from the United States. In the middle of the war, Hussein Obama refused to release the missiles to the Apache helicopters. We couldn't use the helicopters. They tricked us. We bought the helicopters and they refused to give us bombs. Why? Because they worry about the Hamas murderers. Maybe, God forbid, one of them will die. It's no problem that Israeli citizens will die in the streets from rockets. But if we want to retaliate, no, we're not going to sell you well. So why you sold us helicopters? That's the mentality of United States. But the reason Iran will never shoot a bomb on Israel is because Israel have enough bombs aimed to Iran from submarines that in less than 60 seconds the entire country of Iran will be dead. 70 million people will die in less than 60 seconds. So the Iranians know it, and the Ayatollahs, as much as they hate us, as much they love themselves, they would not agree to die in order for them to kill us. They send other fools to commit suicide. Take one of the Ayatollahs, tell you want to kill 1 million Jews? If we chop your head off, you get it. 1 million Jews would die. You won't agree. As much as he hates us. The president of Iran, this Khamenei, whatever his name is, you tell him, you know what, you want to kill 1 million Jews right now? Press this button, they're all dead. But when you they're all going to be all dead. But when you press the button, your head will be chopped off. Will he press the button? No. Will the Nazi press the button? No. An Arab will press the button 10 times. That he will chop the heads of his children as well. Why? Because he believed that if I kill a Jew, I go to heaven. So who cares if I die? That's how they brainwash them. But the Nazi would not agree to lose one hair from his arm. He wants to kill us, but up to his own health. If you tell the Nazi you can kill 1 million Jews, but you have to lose an arm, he won't agree. If you tell an Arab you can kill 1 Jew, but you have to die also, he said, great. Can I bring my children along? They should also die with me. That's their mentality. They are honored to die to kill 1 Jew. Forget 6 million. 1. But the Nazi would not agree to lose a finger. Even for 1 million Jews dead, he won't agree to sacrifice 1 finger from his hand. Why? They love themselves more than they hate the Jews. The Arabs, they may also love themselves, but in their mind, how do I benefit myself? Taking with me few Jews to the next world. While killing them, I'm going to heaven. Why? 72 versions are waiting. Imagine their surprise when they see Arafat, the mouse, and the other mouse, Sheikh Yassin, and all the other ugly mass murderers coming like this to welcome them in hell. Imagine what a surprise they're going to have. They kill a Jew thinking they're going to heaven. The Torah says you should not kill. You should not kill. It's also applied to the Gentiles. It's one of the 7 laws of Noah. Jews cannot murder Gentiles, and Gentiles cannot murder also anyone. No one is allowed to murder. If someone comes to kill you, you must kill him first. If you don't, you're stupid. If you're stupid, you deserve to die. Why? Because the Torah told you, someone comes to kill you, a terrorist is on the way to put a bomb or to explode, you must kill him first. If you don't kill him, then he kills you and your children. You come to Shema and say, God, why you didn't protect me? I did protect you. I gave you rules. You saw that he's coming. Why didn't you bomb him? No, I was afraid to bomb him. Why are you waiting until he shoots at you and then you're going to respond? The liberal law of Israel said that the soldiers cannot shoot someone with a gun aimed to them. They have to first scream, stop, before I shoot. Look how much time the Arab has to kill us. Then to shoot one in the air. But he continued to walk towards you. Then to shoot to the legs. And if after all of that, shoot to the body and then sit 10 years in prison. You're not going to get away with that. You're going to prison. That's why the soldiers are afraid. They stand like this, and Arab women smack them and spit in their face. And they stand like Nebech like this, and they're afraid to retaliate. Because they know the Israeli Supreme Court is a supporter of this Hamas. Everything they do for them. And that's what's happening right now. That's what you see in Israel. All the riots on the street is one war. Will we continue to control Israel with the dictatorship of the Supreme Court? Or are we going to lose this dictatorship? If we're going to lose it, that's it. The righties, the religious people, are going to control us. We rather die than let them control the country. That's what the war is on the street right now. They know that until now, it doesn't matter who was the prime minister. The Supreme Court is 11 liberal lefty judges, all of them style Bernie Sanders, that hates Israel, and hate the Israeli army, and hate rabbis, and hate the Jewish religion, and love gay marriage, and love abortions, and love everything that God hates, and hates everything that God loves. And every time there was a battle between Jews and Hamas terrorists, they always take the Hamas side. Every time there is a battle between a secular Jew to a religious Jew, the religious Jew automatically lose. Every time they have a debate about a law that the Torah said that you have to keep, immediately you lose. This is the last 40 years. So it doesn't really matter who the government is. It can be Netanyahu, it can be even a rabbi can be a prime minister. They're all puppets. Because any rule they want to pass, immediately the Supreme Court say, we cancel the rule. It's not legal. You can make, I give you one example. If the Israeli soldiers go into Jenin or to Gaza, as soon as you enter there, 10% that you're going to die. If you're going to go 10 times, in one of the times for sure you're going to die. So what, the Israeli now go into a house that a mass murderer is in a house with machine guns, and they want to know if he's inside, but they put booby trap. They put all kinds of under the ground that once you step on it, boom, it explodes you. It's mines under the ground. They're very sophisticated, these terrorists, with the help of Iran. So the Jews say, they take one of the Arab terrorists, and they say, you walk first. We're going to walk behind you. They would have to open the door and let you in. They don't want to kill you. You're one of their brothers. This is safety for us. So the Supreme Court says it's not legal. So what's better, that 8 soldiers will die? That's better than this mass murderer wants to slaughter us? Yes. Let 8 soldiers die, that you don't hurt these terrorists. This is the way they think. As a result of that, you see what you see. So going back to what I started to explain, most of the Jews do not know what the Torah is. Most of the secular Jews in the world, not most, all never read the Torah once in their life. Anyone here met a secular Jew that can come to me and explain to me literally, forget about secrets, the meaning of the words of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses? Do you know one professor in university that once in his life read the Torah? There's no such thing, even in Israel. Forget in America. In Israel, Israeli professor, they never read the Torah once in their life. How many professors in Israel read 1 page in a Rambam once in their life? The answer is 0. Nobody knows who Rambam is. They think it's a hospital. It's the name of a street. The head of the Israeli Supreme Court, Aaron Barak, that was a professor in Harvard teaching law and wrote books and is considered one of the big judges in the whole world, does not know how to say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. One Chabad came to him a month ago with tefillin. He didn't know how to say Shema Yisrael. He had to repeat after the Chabadnik. The head of the Israeli Supreme Court does not know how to say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. But not only him. Do you know any American secular Jew that never went to yeshiva that knows how to say Shema Yisrael? Now I would like to ask you a question. Is it fair to criticize a book that you never even opened once in your life? I go to the library, I pull a book, thousands of books. I pull one of them. What is this? Some Indian guy in India wrote it. What's in it? I don't know. I have to read to know. If I read it carefully, then I can write as much criticism as I want. Why? I read it. And it's all baloney, and it's nonsense, and it's stupid. That's why I write my criticism. Oh, at least we understand that. But imagine I look at it, I don't want to read it, I don't even want to open it. I put it back on the shelf, and then I write a 10 pages article to criticize the book. Terrible, primitive, fanatic, idiotic. Someone asked me, excuse me, did you read the book? No. Did you even open it? No. You never had it in your hand once in your life? No. So why did you write 10 pages full of criticism? Because you're not normal. Someone that does something like this has to go to a mental institution, right? If I write now 10 pages criticism against a book that I never saw in my life, that means I'm not normal. Anyone disagree with me or no? Right? It's an act of a person that is crazy. So how come almost all the Jews in the world criticize the Torah every minute of their life and they never read it once in their life? So all of them should be put in a mental institution based on what you all agree with me right now. So what's going on here? I have no incentive to criticize millions of books that you have here in the Library of New York. Why do I care about these books? Why should I waste time criticizing someone's book? You like it, read it, it's your business. I have nothing to do with that. Why do I go out of my way to fight and destroy the book, put my entire effort to destroy that book? What makes me so scared? Why the secular Jews are so afraid of the Torah that they're willing to do everything they can and spend tons of time and money to destroy Judaism? Why? Why so many hate the Torah so much? Why when they see a rabbi they go crazy? They cannot stand that there's somebody religious next to them. Why? What's going on here? Did you ever think about it? The Israeli Supreme Court. You may come and say, you know what, I tell you, Rabbi, why they don't love you. Because you speak against gays. And they are gays. And their children are gays. And they see nothing wrong with a man marry a man. That's the way they were raised. So in their opinion, you are a primitive lunatic. Primitive. They don't want anything to do with you. So that's why as soon as they see you, they're allergic to you. Because they want to marry men with men, and you speak against it. They look at you as a burden. Makes sense, no? If that's the case, why when the Arab Muslim in a mosque not just speak against gays, say that you have to hang them all in the middle of the street, in YouTube? The Israeli judge in the Supreme Court have wonderful sympathy to this Arab mass murderer. When he comes in front of him to the court, he's going to go out of his way to set him free. I will hint that it's against the Torah to be gay. If he can put me 20 years in prison, he will be happy to do it. The Hamas guy, or Hezbollah, or Iranian one, that come and say, we hang the gays in the city of Tehran on lifts. You walk in Tehran and you see them hang on the street. Someone like that will come to the Israeli Supreme Court, they will take his side. So the question is, that's not what bothered them. If they were so protective of gays, they should have hated me and the Muslim just as much. But when it comes to him, they have so much sympathy to him. But when it comes to a rabbi, they want to kill him. Why? Use your head. Plus, did you ever think why all liberal Jews are pro-gays, but they also pro-Hamas terrorists? They look at them as liberation, not terror. They have the right to fight us. We stole their land. They don't know the history of the world, that we were there before they were even became a nation. But forget about politics. Why That's not terror. That's self-defense. Hamas come and shoot people in a bus stop, women, children. They have the right. We don't belong here. We came here. We took their land. They deserve to kill us. That's the Israeli lefties. That's how they talk. The question is now, how can you be pro-Hamas murderer and pro-gay at the same time? The Hamas murderer would chop the head off the gay. That's all they talk about, how much they hate gays. So how is it possible that you in one hand love gays and do everything and you walk in their parade with the flag every week, and at the same time you admire the head of the Hamas that speak about chopping the heads of the gays? How can it be? It's a big contradiction. Make up your mind. If you admire the Hamas, you have to hate the gays. If you love the gays, you cannot look at the Hamas. How is it possible you love both of them at the same time for the same level of love? Where is the logic? Can you love Jews and Nazis at the same time? If you're pro-Nazi, you're an anti-Semite. You want Jews dead. If you admire Jews and you love them, you hate Nazis. Make sense? If you love corruption, you're not an honest person. If you hate corruption, you're an honest person. It doesn't go together, honest and corruption at the same time. If you want to be a man, you're a man. You can't be a man and a woman at the same time. Make up your mind what you want to be. It cannot be one thing and at the opposite of it at the same time. How is it possible that all lefty liberal Jews admire gays and admire Hamas? Who can give me an answer?
They don't know what they know. They're just saying things. They don't know.
It's true, but I'm expecting a different answer.
They'll hate the religious Jews, the enemy of your enemy. Your enemy's enemy is your friend.
It's also true, but I give you a much more simple answer. Now finally maybe you're going to understand how the world operates. When God created the world, every human being that comes to the world has 100% free will to choose what to do. To steal or to give charity. To be honest, to be crooked. To be generous, to be stingy. To keep Shabbat, to violate Shabbat. It's your choice. To be straight, to be gay. To be a good father, to be a horrible father. It's your choice. Nobody forces you to be good or bad or generous or cheap. Animals don't have free will. They are programmed by the laws of nature and they follow their instinct, always. Always you already know how the animal will react. Even though animals also choose right or left, right, to go here, to go there. Now he's in the mood to go to the lake. The bear, he wants to go to the lake. 10 minutes ago he didn't want to go to the lake. What makes him decide if he wants to go swimming or not? Obviously, you see, he's choosing what to do. No one is moving him with a remote control. The bear wants to come eat, or he will eat 10 minutes later. He wants to go with the white female or with the brown female. Obviously, they have preferences. But there's one difference between us and them. Both of us choose what to do, where to go, when to go. We choose. But we are the only species in the world that can choose to do something that we hate to do. Choose to do something that it's against our own will. For instance, you met a girl, Christina, in a club. You didn't know it's forbidden. You're not religious. She's beautiful, she's nice to you, nice girl, educated, give you a lot of attention, maybe even money. Wow, my life looks great. All of a sudden, the annoying rabbi came and said, hey, don't get too excited. Please first read this book, then decide if you want to marry Christina or not. So, I'm open-minded. Let me give it a chance. He read the book. 2 days later, as much as he loved her, as much as he will suffer tremendously without marrying her, and he has to break up with her, he has to now make a decision to go against his own will. His will was to be with her forever. Enjoy. Now he just found out it's a huge crime against God, with major consequences, that even his children are not Jewish anymore. That's it. He's cutting his genealogy from all the way from Moshe and Abraham all the way to his family, and his family is over. He didn't know it. Now he just found out he can choose to do something that he would prefer not to do. There's no such thing by animals. You can convince the tiger not to eat the zebra when he's very hungry because we still have to take pictures. Can you wait 2 hours? Let us take pictures of the zebras, then eat them. There's no such thing. The lion is hungry right now, he must attack the zebra. There's no way to stop him. There's no way to tell him, wait, so what if you're hungry? Wait 2 hours. There's no such thing. You can take a human being that have an opportunity to steal diamonds and tell them it's forbidden. You want to be a thief? No, you're right, it's not decent. He wants to steal, but he forces himself not to steal. He wants to speak bad about his friend, and he forces himself not to speak. He wants to murder someone that gets him very annoyed already for 10 years, but he should not kill. So he's forcing himself not to kill. People can choose to do things that they themselves would prefer to do the opposite. That's why we are the only species that is subject to reward and punishment for every transaction that we do in life. That's what the Torah says. You listen to me and follow my instruction, I will reward you endlessly in the eternal life. You would go against me or will ignore me or will rebel against me, I will punish you endlessly. So now the person has to make a decision. Do I want to destroy my future by some desires that I follow and later pay a very heavy price for it? Or I should put myself in a discipline and start changing and working on my character and change all the negative and start follow the commandments that my Creator obligates me to keep. That's what it comes down to. Now, how does a person have enough strength to change his lifestyle? Right now it's complete secular. He's a lefty, he's a liberal. All of a sudden he has to change his ideology and his beliefs and the way he looks at things. And he has to reevaluate his relationship with his gay friends and with his non-Jewish girlfriend and with all kinds of people in his office. There's massive changes in a life. Can't live like Sodom and Gomorrah anymore. You have to live with a system of laws. The question is, how does a person start from 0 to go all the way to 100? It's not easy. The answer is education. Right now, you have 0 knowledge. When you have 0 knowledge, nothing is wrong with having a non-Jewish girlfriend. Who say it's not allowed? I have 0 knowledge. Nothing is wrong with stealing. Who say it's not allowed? The government of the United States, but they all steal. Billions they steal. They tell me that it's not allowed to steal. They steal billions, I steal dollars. Who is better? I'm much better than them. So how can they preach to me? Who can tell me you're not allowed to smoke? The doctor that he himself smoked? The reality is, once I have 0 knowledge, and in my mind there is no book from God, because I don't even believe there is a God, because I never thought who made this world and what's the purpose of my life, because I don't want to think about it, because I'm afraid of the answers. That's what most secular people, they're afraid to deal with reality. How many times you looked at yourself in a mirror and analyzed what kind of a horrible person you are? You're never going to do it, because you have sympathy to yourself, you're egoistic, you love yourself, and you hate very much to criticize yourself. If you look at the mirror and you have to now answer to yourself how horrible is your lifestyle. So it starts with, I wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm a bum. I can't even wake up. The alarm goes 20 times and I can't wake up. I come to work always late. I get fired every 2 months from a different job. Why? Because I can't even control one desire. I eat like a pig. I gain weight like a pig. I eat everything that moves. Why? I cannot control myself. I'm a drug addict. One guy take cocaine, the other one heroin, and the other one all day pizza and bagels. In reality, I can't control myself. I have 0 discipline. I lie all the time. I steal all the time. I cheat all the time. I'm arrogant. I'm violent. I'm ungrateful. I'm not loyal. If a person will be honest and make a list of all the negative things inside him, the list will be all the way from here to Long Island. That's why he never does it. Look at the American teenagers. When their father wants to criticize them on one thing, what a impossible mission it is. Do you know how hard it is to discipline American kids? Do you know how difficult it is to tell your son, wake up in the morning to be in shul on time? 500 times you beg him, you give him, you bribe him, you threat him, nothing else. Doesn't care. So why? He doesn't want to deal with reality. How many times you're going to beg your kids not to start smoking grass because grass leads to pills, and pill leads to heroin, and heroin leads to fentanyl, whatever, and that leads to a horrible death. And so many millions are dying every year. Why? You talk to them, talk to the wall. But we are here to understand one thing, Rabotai. If there is a God, and if the Torah is his book that he was given to us in a public event, and in the Torah it's written that it applies to every generation equally until the end of days, I, him, her, have to be super stupid to ignore it and not to know this book by heart. We have to be not stupid, super stupid. Because if someone will come to your office and put a notebook on a table and say, read it, put 1 hour of your time, that will teach you how to make $1 million a day in the stock market, guarantee. Would you care about the $5,000 deals that you have to do in the next hour? Guarantee, I give you my word. Read it. After that, you go on your computer. Every transaction you make, you're going to make 50,000. 20 transactions a day, $1 million a day. Imagine you take the book and say, okay, thank you. Throw it over there on the side and never open it. Someone like that is smart or stupid? Now, let me rephrase my question. You already know that someone like that is stupid. But I want to prove to you that it's not stupid, it's super stupid. Because after I gave you the notebook telling you that you can make $1 million a day, I also made another comment. If you won't read my book, I'm going to send my gorilla bodyguard to break every bone in your body. And you still ignore the book. What are you now? If before you were stupid, what are you now? Stupid baribua. Why? How? Not only you give up $1 million a day profit, pressing few buttons, you still jeopardize every one of your bones to be broken with a cast for 2 years, cannot walk, cannot run, cannot climb the stairs. Now you are extra, until tomorrow, extra stupid. So all of you agreed, and now I'm sorry to disappoint you, that's basically almost all the secular Jews in the world. They are falling into that category. Why? How many of them heard from religious people, from rabbis, from cousins, from relatives, from brothers and sisters who became religious? In Yom Kippur, in the synagogue, movies that they watch, YouTube's videos, etc., that there is a creator to the world, and there is a purpose, and there is life after death, and everything we're going to do will be analyzed in our trial when we die, and the decision will be made if we go to heaven or hell. Every Christian believes in it, every Muslim believes in it, and many of the secular Jews heard it. How can they take the risk? When I hear something like this, first thing I would like to do is to get rid of this burden. How do I get rid of it? Someone came me and gave me a book and said, this is the book of God. You are obligated to follow it for your own good. You're not doing anyone a favor. It's to save yourself. Leave me alone. Leave you alone, I leave you alone. But you're going to pay the price later on. We're going to hand you the bill. So the faster you wake up, the better it is. I have to beg you? No. I did you a huge favor. Here, all the information is here. Now, I'm not interested to change my lifestyle. That's a threat to me. The Torah, to a secular atheist, is the biggest poison. He's afraid that he cannot be a gay anymore, or that he cannot marry his goya, or that he has to stop stealing from all his customers in a business. or that he's going to have to keep Shabbat, and he's not going to be able to drive, or that his wife won't be able to walk naked on a beach, all the things he likes to do, or that he's going to have to close his business on Passover, or he won't be able to drink whiskey and beer the entire week, or pasta. There's a lot of threats. So what is my main goal? To destroy and bury the book as fast as I can. But I cannot be a hypocrite. What happens if he's right? I can say, no, I don't believe, it's nonsense, baloney, get out of here. But in reality, my conscience bothers me. What if he's right? If he's right, I'm finished. When they're going to hand me the bill, I'm going to have to start paying, and it's going to be very painful for a very long time. So how can I ignore it? The answer is I have a way out. An unbelievable way out. Who wouldn't want a way out? Wow, I can do whatever I want. Please give me that ticket, get out of jail free. How do I get rid of this annoying book? The answer is, Rabotai, all you have to do is to find one human error in a book. That's it. One human error in a Torah, and you set free. Why? It's not from God. God doesn't make human errors. So go ahead, read the Torah once in your life, find one mistake, and you're free. Nobody can ever tell you what to do. You can do whatever you like. Marry whoever you want, do whatever you like, choose any friend you like, eat whatever you want, steal as much as you want. Who's going to tell you what's right and what's wrong? All you have to do is find one mistake in a book. That's it. If you find one mistake in a book, it cannot be from God. Oh, it cannot be from God. Baruch Hashem, I just set myself free. Make sense what I say? Make sense or no? Everyone agree? All of you are wrong. Why? I tricked you. But on purpose. Why I tricked you? I'll give you a mashal, a parable, and you get the point. 3 days we walked in a desert, 110 degrees, no water. People begin to faint. Get up Moshe, get up Yitzchak, Sarah, soon we're going to get to water, don't lose hope. People are dizzy, 3 days in the desert with no water. Then we saw a cabin, wood cabin. Wow, someone lives here in the middle of nowhere. We come, we knock on the door, a monk opened the door. He's there already 30 years. Long hair, this, Hi, what are you doing here? You probably went lost in the desert like all the other people who knocked on my door during the years. Yes, we lost direction. We don't know how to get to the city. Don't worry, it's not the first time it happened. You're probably very thirsty. Yeah, we're dying. We see 100 glasses of water on the table. You see the steam on the meaning it's cold now. 3 days you didn't drink. Your head is spinning. The monks say, listen, I have a game here. In one of the cups, I put fatal poison. You drink one sip, it melts your heart and your liver and your kidney and your stomach. You die on a spot in a horrible death. But don't worry, the good news that 99 of the cups have clear water. Only one of them have that poison, and it got mixed. Be my guest, the water is on the house. But you should also know, if you walk to this direction 3 hours straight, you're going to get to the city, and over there you have faucets and as much water as you want. Now we are in this dilemma. Who would drink from the water? Who would prefer to suffer 3 more hours and go to the city and drink the clean water, not to die? And who would take the risk and drink the water knowing there could be poison and you die on the spot? Anyone who drink from the water, raise his hand. No one?
It depends. What's the percentage of you dying on a walk to?
No chance to die, just pure suffering, dizziness, vomiting, drying out. Not pleasant. Aval, 3 hours, you won't die. You make it. would you take the 3 extra hours of suffering to be safe 100% to get clean water? Or are you willing to take a risk and die right now on the spot?
Suffer.
So Baruch Hashem, all of you are clever people. I have a good audience tonight. I also wouldn't drink. I would rather suffer even 30 more hours if possible, just to get to safe water. Now what are the percentage when you take the water to die? Mathematically, what percent you have to die? 1 glass out of 100 has poison and they all got mixed. 1%. Everyone agree that it's 1%?
Yeah.
Again, all of you are wrong. The chance that there is poison in a glass is 0.5%. Not 1%. Who knows math? Why? I know in America nobody learns math. In Israel they used to, now not anymore. It also became like America. But when I was a child, we learned math in a high level. When I came to America in 1989, I went to work for my first day in a bagel store. I didn't know how to use the cash register. So I was calculating all the things in my head. 350, 369, 240, 425. While I'm preparing all the food, I would come to the register, press the button, person give me $20 and give him $1.25 change. The owner of the bagel store thought I'm stealing the money. Why you don't type the... Because I didn't know. I didn't know how to use the register. I only know how to open it. One button opens it. What, you're stealing money on your first day on the job? I said, no, why? $2 in my pocket. So why you don't type? I said, I don't know how to work on the register. So how do you know how much change to give? So I calculate in my head. Why are you telling stories? I say, yes, it was nothing, 4 or 5 items. Adding it while I'm preparing the bagels, you know, drink, Coke, this, that, adding it together, calculating how much to give change. He started to test me. Bagel with butter, bagel with tuna, Coke, black coffee, and 1 croissant. Here, $20, give me change. And he typed, wow, he called his wife. This guy was not Jewish. His name was Bob. His wife was a Jewish girl. June, her name was. June and Bob, my first boss, first day in America. He screamed, June, we have a new Jewish Albert Einstein here. And I didn't know if to laugh or to cry. So every fool in Israel knew this. No one here knew math. Now we are 30 years later. It's only get worse. My point to you is now it's only 0.5%. Why 0.5%? Maybe the monk is playing with our head and he's lying. There's always a chance. Maybe he didn't never put poison. So on that, there is also 50% doubt. On that 1%, maybe to begin with, they never put the poison. But, so you agree that it's 0.5%?
No, 100%.
Why?
100%. You can put poison in every bottle.
Oh, you saved the city. That was my next thing. If you would tell me, yeah, we agree it's 0.5%, I would tell you again, you're all wrong. You want to drive us crazy? Why are you all wrong? Maybe you lie, maybe you put in every one of the glasses poison. So, let's assume that he's a decent guy, he's not a murderer. Accidentally, the poison got mixed in one of the glasses. With a 1% chance, no one will take the risk. You agree? Okay. Now, there's anyone here in the room that doesn't believe at least, that there is a 1% chance, 1% out of 100, that the Torah is a divine book by the creator of the world? Every atheist has at least 1% chance that in the end maybe this rabbi is right. 99% I'm sure it's baloney. Whatever the religion say, it's nonsense, there's no God, there's no nothing. Would you swear on your life right now that if you're wrong you die on the spot and your mother died? No, I wouldn't take that risk. Why? You say you're an atheist. Yes, I'm an atheist, but I still have 1% fear that maybe he's right. So if you have 1% fear that maybe there is poison in the water and you don't agree to drink, how are you willing to take a risk that what the Torah says, that someone that does not observe the Sabbath, his soul is going to be cut permanently from the eternal world and will never get to the place that God promised to all the righteous people, would lose his eternity just from smoking a stupid cigarette on Shabbat or driving a car. Because the Torah said, do not create fire on Shabbat. That's what's written 12 times in the book of God. So if there is a 1% chance, according to you, according to me, it's 100% divine. There's no doubt even of a 0.5%. To me, it's clear, just like we know we're in a night here in Manhattan on a Wednesday night. No doubt whatsoever. After you read my book, you also won't have any doubt. But now we're talking before you read the book. 1% you give it a chance. 1%. With that 1%, all of you must be ultra orthodox. Why? Because if the Torah is the book of God and I will ignore it, I will suffer for eternity. Who can take such a risk? What's the alternative? I'll be an observant Jew. Wow. What? I'm in hell? You eat, I eat. You have a wife, I have a wife. You have money, I have money. You have a car, I have a car. You sleep well, I sleep well. You have a nice watch, I have a nice watch also. Technically, what do you have that I don't have? Or that you eat pizza with pepperoni? No, I can live without it. I'm not talking you, I'm talking in general. That I cannot steal in a business and you allow yourself to steal? No, I can live without stealing. That on Shabbat I cannot drive the car, so I walk to the synagogue, or I have friends over and we enjoy and we play and we learn and we eat and we sing. For that I'm willing to take a risk to lose my eternity? Makes sense what I say or no? What do you say? So in that case, based on this logic, how do you explain that 80% of the people who agree that there is at least 1% chance that the Torah is real, still willing to take that risk? Any answer? Makes sense to you or no? The answer, I have an explanation. There is something that Hashem created us, it's called the evil inclination. Yetzer hara. One of the ways of the evil inclination, which is the Satan, is an angel, is to make us always busy and running after desires that we don't ever have an hour to sit straight and think and analyze our life and to do what we call cheshbon nefesh, meaning to repent, to redirect our direction, to accept on ourselves to change and become decent people and stop lying and stop stealing and stop deceiving and start waking up on the right time, and the way we talk and the way we dress and what we eat and what we don't eat. We just don't want to do it. Why? We are 100% drug addicts. And we don't want to go to rehab. Drug addicts don't want to go to rehab. Every one of them I had to beg to go to rehab and they refuse. Why they don't want to go to a closed rehab? Because they know it's going to be painful. A month or 2 months to change the bad habits. They want to enjoy right now. They want to take the needle or the whatever the things and live and feel high, I don't know what they feel, and enjoy the moment. But it leads you to eternal destruction. At least now I enjoy 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour. So rehab would limit my options. I won't be able to get the drugs. I won't be able to get the 5 minutes pleasure that I need every few hours, or the grass that I smoke, or whatever it is. Same thing is being a secular. I want to go out and I want to meet people and I want to have intimacy and I want to eat whatever I like. I don't want to think what's allowed, what's not allowed. I don't want a boss. I don't want to be religious. So we will conclude right here. The answer to all these people is one. I'm going to tell you a 2-minute story and we finish here. Reuven asked his friend Shimon to do him a favor. Oh, Shimon, I need a big favor from you. What's the favor? You see this bag? It's 20 pounds. What's inside? All diamonds. Diamonds. I need you to take the bag with the diamonds all the way up to the mountain. You are in a Judea desert now, 100 degrees, very hot. You say, wow, it's more than a mile climbing the mountain. It's going to kill me in such a hot day. Don't worry, I'll give you cold water. Believe me, I'll never forget this favor you did to me. I'll make it up to you, don't worry, one day. Tov, Shimon is a nice guy. He cannot say no. He took the bag. He started to walk. After 10 minutes, he's sweating. His back began to hurt. The bag is heavy. And he's thinking, I didn't even walk 5%, and I'm already fainting. Why did I have to agree? Why am I so stupid? Why do I always do favors to people and I in the end lose? He's very angry now. He sits on a rock. He throws rocks. He gets angry. His wife is calling. Shimon, how are you? Oh, you again. Why are you always annoying me? She's a poor woman. She has nothing to do with the case. But he's angry. He wants to kill someone. In the meantime, this entire time, Reuven, that sent him on a mission, is watching him with his binoculars and he's smiling. Look at him. Look, if I would be there, he would kill me. In the meantime, after he saw that this Shimon is ready to kill someone now, so before it's going to get too late, let me give him a call. He called him, Shimon, hi, who is this? Reuven. Oh no, if I could, I'll kill you now. How did you fool me like this with this bag? Relax, relax, don't worry. I just forgot to tell you one very important detail. What's the detail? Once you get to the top of the mountain, there's a guy there named Yosef. That Yosef will choose 3 diamonds from the 1,000 diamonds in a bag. And all the other diamonds are yours as a gift for doing me such a great favor in such a hot day. Enjoy your ride. Now he's still watching him. Now what happened to this guy Shimon? Remember, a second ago, if his wife was there, he would choke her from anger. If someone would pass by, he would throw a rock at his head. He wants to commit suicide. He got up with a smile. The whole bag of diamonds is mine. Put it on his back, jumping, singing. The sweat became water. The pain became pleasure. He doesn't care about the heat and doesn't care about the mountain. He's running like a tiger. What happened? 2 minutes ago you were about to faint. The heat is the same heat. The distance is the same distance. His annoying wife is the same wife. The weight of the bag is the same weight. What changed? He finally understood, I am not working hard for nothing. I'm earning. That's what the Torah is all about. That's what the secular people never think about. You could earn eternity of unbelievable pleasure. You're going to pay millions for one day of pleasure in this world. People pay fortune for jewelry, for intimacy, for trips, for business class. What is the pleasure here, Bichlal? For games, $10,000 to watch someone throw a piece of leather into the basket and scream and cry. Wow, in the day of the wedding of his daughter, he wasn't so excited that some Mr. Jackson knew how to throw the ball into the net. Look how he's happy. Eternity of divine spiritual pleasure. God said that nothing in this world come even near that pleasure. But for eternity, with no timeout. Unbelievable, endless pleasure just for being a righteous Jew and a righteous Gentile. Even the Gentiles have their own test. And there's also a negative side to it. But if you're going to rebel against me and you're going to be ungrateful to me and you can care less of my book of instructions, you will have to deal with the consequences of your actions. What are they? If you're partially righteous, you're going to have to go through hell and get clean, which will be very painful and for a long time. The soul will be cleansed. Then you can go to heaven after that, because after all, you're partially righteous. So we're going to get rid of the negative. Once you purify the soul, like you clean silver, then the soul will go to the place where it deserves to be. But if you're fully wicked, I will pay you the reward for the few good deeds that you did in this life, in this world. Some wealth, some this, some whatever, your trips, your ideas, your illusions. And then when you die, you lost your share to the world to come. You will never get there. And now where are you going to go? The Rambam writes, לדראון עולם. Go to a place, it's called דראון עולם, the biggest disaster you can imagine. Why? For not keeping Shabbat. Why? For marry anyone you want against the law of the Torah. Why? For being gay. Why? For being a liberal anti-Torah and anti-Judaism. Why? For performing abortions. But I'm a doctor. Who gave you permission to murder babies? Just because you're a doctor, you're allowed to murder? In Israel, they murdered more than 2 million babies. More than 2 million babies that should have been now third generation, 50 million Jews. Went down the drain because people do not want to deal with the consequences of their action. They go and they act in prostitution and lack of morality, and then when a woman becomes pregnant, the easy way out is to take the innocent baby that have a life and a soul and chop him to pieces and vacuum the pieces, and everything is fine. No, it's not fine. You're still going to have to pay for that murder sooner or later. You can run away from the court. The liberal laws of New York, the liberal laws of Tel Aviv, but you cannot run away from the judge of universe. That's what a lot of Jews don't understand. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how much you identify or unidentified with the laws of God. You will have to deal with the consequences of your choices. So be smart. If you can't beat him, join him. Join him and win the jackpot. Don't be a fool. And one last sentence. If you think it's hard, it's not. Maybe 3 months it will be a little bit hard to change. Why? Because every change in life needs time to adjust. Once you're on a roll, you enjoy every minute. It's great to learn Torah. It's great to help miserable people. It's great to earn your money without stealing all day and worry what's going to happen. It's great to have a beautiful marriage with wonderful children who comes home and give respect to the parents without crazy ideology that they teach them in public school here. It's great to have normal kids that one day they don't come and say, I want to become a woman. What are you going to do now? They all pretend that they're okay with that. Connect them to lie detectors, see how much they suffer. Enough of this nonsense. They pretend that it's all okay. Take a little child and turn him into a girl. Give him hormones that he should have a breast growing. In your own house. Forget about religion. Look what the world has become. Everything that God hates, the liberals love. And that's what I told you before. How can a liberal Jew love Hamas terrorist, mass murderer, and at the same time to love gays? One is the enemy of the other. Make up your mind. The answer, don't look for logic. The decision they make has nothing to do with logic. Once God put a stamp on you as a wicked person, automatically everything that he hates, you have strong desire to like. Even they contradict each other. It's nothing to do with logic. Once you become impure, automatically you're attracted to pork and to shrimps and to Christina and to gays and to all kinds of things that God hates. Once you get a stamp of righteous, everything that God hates, automatically you resent. When you hear that they're murdering babies, it kills you, it burns your heart. When you find out that the majority of the Jews betray God and marry other nations and cut their entire family tree, it bothers you. When you see so many Jews in jail, it bothers you. When you see so many Jews dying from drugs or drug addicts, it kills you. When you see so many Jews don't even know what Shabbat is, it bothers you. Maybe you're not perfect in your own behaving, but at least your ideology is solid. You know to tell the difference between right and wrong, between good and bad. Right now everyone is confused. No one knows what's right, no one knows what's wrong. Everyone make up his own ideas. And they brainwash all the people in schools, and the children all become like that. Someone told me today that there is a university here in Manhattan, that many Jews go there, that they have a slogan, be gay by May. You heard about it or no? When you come to that university, they come say, welcome. Well, they shake your hands, be gay by May. You have until May to be gay, meaning we're going to make you gay over here, whether you like it or not. And they brag about it. Meaning, I don't know exactly the whole story because I didn't have time to find out what it means really. My assumption is that everyone who goes there straight, within few months become gay. Why? That brainwash obviously affects the subconscious of the people. But I don't think the creator of the world made 2 million species and they all have male and female. They all have to continue the race. That was the plan. You declare a war against the creator of the world and you think you're going to get away with that? Where is your logic? Forget religion. Forget. Let's say there was no Torah, no Judaism. We don't know about religion. We just have to analyze the world. We see someone made the world, yes. That someone is a great superpower, yes. He made in every race, every species, male and female. The male can make the female pregnant and give life to another baby and another baby. That means what's his will? That the world would continue. And more people will come to the world and more animals will be born. Those who died will be replaced with the new babies. That's his plan. Declaring now that all male will be together and all female will be together is actually jeopardizing the existence of the world. You understand that or no? And that's nothing to do with religion. Now when you open the Torah, you find out that it's a death penalty and an eternal cut for the soul of those gays. But you're primitive to say it. You're radical. You're racist. You vile. You're dangerous. You whatever you call it. Who cares what you think? I should care what the professor in Manhattan think? No. Who is he? I should only care what the creator of the world that my life is in his hand think. He likes it or he hates it. If he likes it, I must like it. If he hates it, I must hate it. And it doesn't really matter what millions of idiots out there will bark until tomorrow. You're not one of us, you're not advanced, you're primitive, it's like Iran, you're a pervert, you're this, you're that. Who cares what they say? They're going to save me in my trial for living a life of Sodom and Gomorrah? What will I say for my protection? My friends influenced me and turned me to be such a person with abomination? That's only going to make my punishment worse. So Abotai, I gave you a ticket tonight for a wonderful life of eternity. All it needs is a few months of adjustment. How are you going to make the adjustment? Listening to lectures daily. Inspiring lectures will educate you a lot. You will begin to see how your mind is reprogramming from all the garbage they pushed into your head in this liberal country and in other films or in other lectures that you heard in the university. Once you readjust and reprogram your brain, everything will be a piece of cake. You will enjoy the holiday and you will enjoy to see the Seder without stupid TV on and without all the dirt that you watch and without all the curses, and your language will become clean and your future children will be decent, will stand when you walk into the house. They will never make fun at you. They will never give you orders. You, the father, and the children give you orders and they make fun at you or they embarrass who the father is. You have to make up your mind. Who do you want to be? You want to be a holy person that lives according to the holiness of the Torah? Or you want to be just another species in nature? But don't ever forget that whatever choice you make will determine how much reward you're going to get, or God forbid, how much punishment. And if you're smart, remember what I told you about the water. You're not going to take even 1% chance to leave this world wicked. Chazal, our sages in the Gemara say, it's better for a person to be a fool on the street, homeless, that all the kids make fun of him. You know these crazy people who walks with the bags? and something is wrong with their head, and they sleep on a bench, and they take off their clothes in front of everyone. They're not understanding what they do. And the kids make fun of them, throw things at their head. Every time they come to the neighborhood, all the kids make fun. It's, Chazal say, better to be someone like this guy, miserable guy, for 70 years, everyone laugh at you. Everywhere you go, you would become the joke of the place. You know what an embarrassment, 7 years to be like this? Better this than 1 hour wicked in front of your Creator. 1 hour ungrateful. He gives you oxygen, you use it against him. He gives you water, you drink and use the energy against him. He gives you food, you eat not kosher and you use it against him. What keeps you going? The food and the drinks. So after you get your energy, you go and steal. Or you break Shabbat. Or you commit sins with your girlfriends in a school, whatever. Everything he told you don't dare to do, you do. But with what power? The power that he gives you. Father gives his son $100 and he buy a knife and stab him. And he gives him another 100 and he buy a rock and throw it in his head. A kid like that is a good person or is a despicable human being? Everyone who goes against God, that's that kid. Take oxygen, use it against him. Take money, use it against him. Take intelligence, use it against him. Health, you're able to function, use it against him. You have a beautiful apartment, use it to commit sins against him. You have a day off from work, instead of coming to the synagogue, listening to the reading of the Torah, a great speech by the Rabbi, meet some holy people. What does he do? Go to the beach with a car on Shabbat with his grass. Everything in his life is the opposite of what God told him. Why Hashem does not cut the fun right there and he let him continue? Because he does not interfere with our free will. In the end, את הכל יביא השם במשפט. סוף דבר הכל נשמע. In the end, everything will be displayed on a big screen. And every beep that came out of your mouth will be heard in a court of heaven. And every dollar is stole. And every sin you committed in hidden doors. And every other lack of morality that you had in your life, you will have to deal with that in front of the court of heaven. And everything great you did will also be displayed. All the help that you gave to the miserable, and how much efforts you put not to break in a religion, and how much you sacrifice not to marry someone that is forbidden, and how much you paying and you struggling to eat kosher food even though it's 30-40% more expensive, and how much you pay double on a mortgage because you wanted to live in Monsey in a religious neighborhood, because you wanted your children to get good education and the best yeshivot. Everything is calculated. Be righteous, it will pay off. You don't be, it's your choice. I tried my best. Anyone that wants to get inspired, that's the right book, Preparation for Eternal Life. Thank you very much for organizing it tonight. Thank you very much. Baruch Adonai Leolam, Amen v'Amen. Question? Yes.
So what do you do in a situation, let's say right now,